No, I am not joking. Hi, my name is Sydney, welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by me and my tea company, Lions Tea Exchange. We've finally added 3 new limited edition fall and winter flavors to the website, and this beautiful wooden gift box. I know it's genuinely really hard to be thinking about the cooler weather when we're in summer, but all of these are available for pre-sale as we lead into the gift-giving season. My gift boxes are super lovely. They're heavy, they have removable dividers so you can use them for whatever you want, and you have the option to add whatever flavor you'd like to them as a gift. So go check it out, organize your Christmas gifting early, or just buy them because they're awesome. I will link everything in the description box. So some things have happened over the last couple days that I wanted to share with you all because it appears that our hell gondola is being capsized. Is that the right boating reference? I don't know boats. All I know is that YouTube, Rachel Gunn, and the IOC have rolled up on my channel like,
look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Lots of extremely dumb nautical jokes to be made here. All aboard. Wait, that's trains. Now, as most of you already know, I made a video a few days ago about Australia's Olympic breakdancing sensation Rachel Gunn, known by her dancing name Ray Gunn. Unfortunately, I can't actually show you any clips of Gunn's performance to illustrate what I am saying here, and I will explain why that is in a little bit. But what I have done instead, what I have taken it upon myself to do instead, is to create a reenactment of said performance so that you can get the idea of what was going on. And guess what? Feel free to rip this and use this footage in your own videos, because I'm not a jerk. Had a really great time at the Paris Olympic Games. I feel like I did my best. I went out there and performed. I really performed, and I'm gonna take home gold for Australia, even though I didn't win a single point. And I am now someone who likes tracksuits that I have historically hated. Someone also made this very alarming AI edit of Gunn's performance at the Olympic Games, which I'm going to use because, you know, like I just said, I can't use the real clips, so enjoy. I don't know why I said that. You're definitely not going to enjoy it. It's a little terrifying. Again, as most of you likely already know at this point, clips of Gunn's breaking performance, known commonly as breakdancing at the Paris Olympic Games, went extremely viral because she pulled out some very interesting dance moves, such as scooting herself around on the floor and hopping around like a kangaroo, I think.
It's lit. Just take a look at the drip. You boys don't get fired in this. Roll a dope, yeah, I'm high as a bitch. Wait, it's
in my video, I discussed this performance and tried to answer the question of how Gunn got to the Olympic Games in the first place. I went through what I could find out about the process, the organizations and actors at play, and how it all fit together. And I decided that there was some weirdness afoot. Actually, on a serious note, a handful of professional dancers actually reached out to me after that video went live and basically said that a number of my assessments as a layman turned out to actually be correct. Particularly with relation to just how seedy and shady the World Dance Sport Federation, known as the WDSF, actually is. Which, you know, is pretty cool. That's very validating for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but professional dancers always strike me as people who have, like, secret volcano layers. You just can't trust people who do rich people activities, like golfing or archery. What are you hiding? Anyway, the reason I'm saying all of this is because yesterday I woke up to a message from my dad asking me where my breakdancing video had gone. Actually, my mum asked me about it too, but she was much more conspiratorial right out of the gate. It's both weird and cute that parents never stop keeping tabs on you, even when you are separated by the Pacific Ocean. Anyway, it turns out my entire video had been blocked and banned, essentially, because I'd been issued a copyright claim from the International Olympic Committee, known as the IOC. This, in turn, like I said, made it so that my video was blocked and basically removed from the YouTube platform unless I deleted the offending footage or appealed and waited up to 30 days to just, see what would happen. I mean, totally. I absolutely have 30 days to waste waiting for the IOC to kick me in the face. So I chose option 1 because the entire video was blocked globally over a contested 15 seconds of footage. Because to my mind, as crap as it is, I would rather a video be fully viewable while I appeal and contest these things behind the scenes than have it not be accessible at all. Honestly, it's a pretty crappy choice because you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, unless you can cut footage out and still have the video make sense, which 9 times out of 10 is probably not gonna happen. I have dealt with a ton of copyright claims during my time on this platform, but honestly, I have never really dealt with anything like this specifically. Usually the way that it works, and I'm not saying this is the case every time, but usually when a copyright claim comes in, the thing that becomes disputed is the financial side of things, the ad making side of things. This is partially why so many creators have a massive issue with YouTube's copyright system as it exists right now, because it's incredibly easy to abuse. Now, in the event that your video doesn't have a copyright strike, which is different and another story, and you only have a copyright claim, usually your video is still playable and viewable while the appeal is in place and while the whole issue is being dealt with behind the scenes. So again, usually the option is to appeal, because usually you are covered under fair use, and I'm not going to explain what that is. You guys are more than welcome to look up what fair use is and how it exists when it comes to content creation, and people can still view and access your video while all of this is going on, and then you kind of just wait to see what happens. In this case, like I said, my entire video was gone. It was blocked per YouTube's wording. It wasn't accessible on the global scale. You couldn't see it, couldn't view it. Nothing could be done there. So I made the decision to cut out the copyrighted parts of the video and get my content reinstated. And obviously this sucks a lot for a bunch of reasons, but one of them is because now my video is very wonky and new viewers are going to think that I can't edit. I mean, I can't anyway, but they're going to think I'm worse at it than usual. So for those of you who either decide to go back and rewatch it or watch it for the first time now, just know that I'm very sorry. It's not my fault.
I'm the captain now.
Now, some of you are probably listening to this and thinking, okay, Sid, you've gotten us here, we're listening to you. What is the overall point of what you're trying to say? Well, I'm going to tell you, Stephen. I think it's fair to say that a tremendous amount of interference has been run for Rachel Gunn. But not only that, the IOC has gone to enormous effort to wipe certain videos off the internet from this recent Olympic Games, and I'm not exaggerating when I say they are trying to wipe them off the internet. The weird thing about this, although I guess it's not that weird if you really think about it, is that this effort is not being applied evenly and unilaterally across the board. It is being applied only to Amain Khalif, the boxer whose sex and chromosomes are in question, Lin Yu-ting, I'm sorry guys, I'm so bad with names, the other boxer whose chromosomes are in question, the opening of the Olympic Games, you know, the part with this round lady being Jesus with her band of cross-dressing disciples, as it were, and of course our friend Rachel Gunn and her very interesting breaking performance. Actually, side note with relation to the opening of the games, the IOC took down their own videos of it and have aggressively copyrighted anyone else who tries to upload them. you guys did this to yourselves. Why do something that you know is probably going to make people very mad if you don't plan to stand behind it? Please, explain it to me like I'm 5. The thing is too, and I think this is actually pretty important, and I already touched on this a little bit, the IOC isn't copyright claiming videos in a way that would normally happen, particularly on this platform, but also on others, where again, the financial side of things is in dispute, but the video is still up and still playable. The IOC is fully restricting and banning videos that use these clips in an effort to hide and cover up the most shameful and embarrassing parts of the Paris Olympic Games. And honestly, I think that's kind of a big deal. Like, I think this is genuinely important because it almost seems like they're trying to memory hole these specific events and performances. With that said, I also think it's very much worth noting that the IOC is not claiming videos that people have reacted positively or neutrally to. The Turkish and Korean shooters who went viral for just being badasses were all over Twitter for days, and I didn't see a single takedown occurring. The same goes for clips of athletes being proposed to or doing proposals. Interestingly, and for all of your information, the IOC does actually have a history of issuing takedown notices and going after creators in the past. But I find it extremely interesting which clips this time around are being almost cherry-picked by the IOC to be taken down and removed from the internet. And there's one quite specific theme that runs through all of them. You guys know what it is. Testicle. I'm just kidding. The running theme is foolishness. To be honest with you guys, one of the most annoying parts about all of this and copyright claims and whatnot is that 9 times out of 10, a video is legitimately covered by fair use. Like in my case, using 15 seconds of footage, especially in a video that is transformative and educational, all these type of things, that's just like insane that your video can be taken down over something like this. Like, yeah. So to reiterate, the IOC is not only copyright claiming content, but using the copyright system available to it, particularly here on YouTube, to block and ban the most questionable parts of the Olympic Games. And I am not remotely surprised that this is taking place with relation to our old friend, Rachel Gunn. Since day one, Rachel Gunn especially has been babied and pandered to by both the IOC and the AOC, the Australian Olympic Committee. And no, I'm not going to make the same joke again about not confusing this AOC with the other AOC. Although I want to, because I'm repetitive. I covered this a little bit in my original video, but both the CEO and the head of the AOC stepped in to comment on the negative feedback Gunn was receiving over her performance. The head of the AOC, Anna Mears, basically defended Gunn by saying that she showed up to have a go and that's what counts. Like, color me crazy, but that's not what the Olympics is, or is even meant to be. The Olympics, at least in my opinion, is not the time to just show up and do your best and get a little pat on the head and then go home with your participation trophy. It is a series of events and sports with exceptional athletes meant to signal greatness. Like it's been that way since forever, and it just kind of feels like everybody's forgotten that all of a sudden over one singular terrible breakdancing performance. And I know I should be used to this kind of thing by now, but I just can't wrap my head around the IOC running interference for the most questionable parts of the Olympic Games. Like, I don't know what to make of that. That's just, the whole thing just feels wrong. Anyway, call me madly conspiratorial, but I do feel like there is more to this situation than meets the eye. But to reiterate my overall point here, I am surprised, actually, that it was Rachel Gunn who got a video of mine blocked globally via the IOC. Like, that is really something. And speaking of our mate Rachel, and this is a little bit of an aside, she has now been signed to a talent agency in Australia and been offered the opportunity to participate as a celebrity on a reality show. Because like I told you all in my last video, Australia has a habit of globbing on to people who maybe shouldn't have celebrity status and like canonizing them. Why are we like this? I think the lingering sentiment post the Paris Olympics, and honestly this is really sad, is one of participation trophies and virtue signaling, almost to the point where it has completely overshadowed the reason for the Olympics in the first place, to showcase and highlight humans with exceptional sporting abilities. Almost seeming to understand this themselves, the IOC has gone to great lengths to erase its most profoundly absurd moments. I think if there is anything that signifies just how incredibly bad this Olympics Games was, it's that the president, Thomas Bach, has announced that he will be resigning in 2025, despite being asked to stay on. He's held his post since 2013, by the way, and he is now running for the hills. Through all of this, it honestly makes me wonder if the IOC has learned anything at all from Paris. One can only hope that they realize that going off the rails to cater to a bunch of insulated political narratives was not the way to go, especially if it resulted in them not only deleting their own clips and footage, but trying to stop other people from sharing clips and footage of their own events. And in the end, as for our mate Rachel Gunn, well, she is seemingly protected from pointy words by not only two major Olympic bodies, but by the crazy abuse of the existing copyright system. Now, of course, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out my company, Lions Tea Exchange, using the link in the description. Go and check out the limited edition flavors that we have for Christmas and for autumn, and also the really cool gift boxes that are available for pre-sale. I promise you, you will not regret it. They are very delicious, and the boxes are super cool. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? What do you make of the IOC using the copyright system to globally ban and restrict and block access to footage from its own Olympic Games? What do you make of the fact that it's only doing it to a specific number of clips, to a specific number of performances and events from the Olympics? Do you think that there's something weird going on? Do you think that that's actually pretty normal, that it's actually up to their discretion? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of your comments and I really like hearing your feedback. Of course, if you have a video suggestion, feel free to leave me one. I really like hearing your ideas and suggestions. And as always, I will see you wonderful, pretty people in the next video.